It is January 13, 2014. I'm using Industrial Craft 2.0.345 in the experimental branch, and this is a brief overview on the undocumented changes to the Industrial Craft 2 EnergyNet. The largest change to date is the move from the ability to send unlimited number of packets down a line to the addition of packets, after which they are all calculated and sent down the line. In effect, this change has removed the ability to send all of your power down a single line, so long as any individual packet did not exceed the wire's carrying capacity. I will be going over the ramifications of this change here momentarily, but first, some slightly new graphics for the power storage devices. Here we have the BAT box, the CESU, which is the new Tier 2 device. Capacity is 300,000 EU, 128 EU per packet input and output. The MFE, which has replaced the MFSU, 4 million EU storage, 512 EU a tick, which should actually read EU per packet, and I do in fact believe that all of these are still displaying as EU per tick when it should be EU per packet. And this final one is the MFSU, which has been upgraded to a Tier 4 device, 40 million EU storage, 2048 EU per packet output. And this is an MV transformer. The transformers have received a slight adjustment as to how they function. Now there's an option for applying a redstone signal will step up, and then fixed step down and fixed step up. You simply click on the appropriate icon, and the wrench indicates the active setting. Also to note, none of the power devices stack. However, this has the added benefit of retaining stored energy, allowing them to be moved. Currently, the Industrial Craft 2 development team has disabled explosions on machines. This only accounts for the electrical consumers, not nuclear reactors. Several weeks prior, I had a rather unfortunate event when the aforementioned change resulted in my nuclear safety device, or nuclear safety wire, failing to melt properly. So also the wires have been, wire melting has been removed temporarily until they can properly sort out the implementation. As of recording, the new implementation is, I would consider it to be roughly 50% complete, if that. There is currently no metering devices, and the EU detector and EU splitter cables do not function. So, with this overhaul, currently pretty much nothing is working as it is intended to be working. However, thankfully they have disabled the need for said metering devices. So, if we go down to my workshop, if you watch the previous video, you might notice a few minor changes. However, the overall function has not significantly changed. So, here we have the wiring. Inside this is a nuclear reactor, as well as 4 RTGs to power the system. The RTGs keep the AE system charged and prevent some rather annoying downtime issues. However, the reactor needs to be powered to run all of the machines. And we have coming up is, let me turn on this very nifty tooltip. We have an MFE, full charge. Gold cable is the new 512 cable, and copper is 128. Tin cable is the new LV cable at 32. The steel cable is 256, the steel cable is HV and runs at 2048, and glass fiber cable is 8192. All cables have been tested up to 60 blocks and are lossless, which is understandable. The previous tiers of cable all had significant energy loss even over short distances, resulting in the common theme, or common practice rather, of running everything along glass fiber cable and just accepting the rather significant diamond cost if you were going to do any sort of long runs. So in this wiring setup, and even though the component explosions are disabled, I have wired this how it would need to be wired if they weren't. We have a 512 output. This is outputting one packet of 512 EU every tick. Comes up and over. Transformers, I do believe, have an internal capacity equal to their highest input. So a packet comes in, charges the internal capacitor, and the transformer then outputs over 4 ticks one 128 EU packet each tick. Consequently, if I wish to power all of these machines constantly, I would need to run several transformers and several wires. The result of this, from a design standpoint, is more resource cost. From a pathfinding standpoint in the energy net, it means that there are many very short runs instead of very few very long runs. The CESUs I've attached on top primarily so that I can just glance at it and see how much power to identify any power supply issues, as well as to provide 300,000 backup power to each of these machines. The next tutorial will be covering the new reactor mechanics, and I will be using several of the reactors I have in this workspace as demonstration. So I will be getting to that here momentarily. So thank you for watching, and until next time, think big.